So as you know, New York typically has woefully low voter turnout, lower than other states. And in 2015, a federal agency ranked it 49th out of 50 when it comes to civic engagement, which is pathetic, basically. But the 2016 election and a tumultuous year in Washington seem to have more people looking to get involved, but maybe they don't know how. So Samantha Diliberti is trying to make it easier for New Yorkers to find out what's going on in their city or town. She created a website called OrangeU Going that lists government, nonprofit, and business events that are open to the public. And she's joining me now in the studio to explain her goal. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Liz.
So you never had a problem with civic engagement. You were engaged at 12.
Yes, I volunteered on my first political campaign at the age of 12, and I really have never stopped.
Who was it at 12?
I think it was Joe Adabo. Yeah, in Howard Beach.
Wow.
I grew up in Queens.
Okay, so most people won't remember this, but very quickly, now you're 27.
Yes.
So, and I'm 45, so this is like ancient history. But what the state, Joe Adabo was like this up-and-coming sort of conservative-ish Democrat, and it was a very unusual district in Queens that had been held by Surf Maltese for years.
To be honest, at age 12, I did not follow the politics. I stuffed envelopes.
That's what you did.
But it definitely taught me the importance of civic engagement. And, you know, my mother is a single mother, and so I went to every town hall, parent-teacher conference meeting, community event with her. And I think that kind of forced me to see how it worked and why it was so important. And so I started volunteering, and I really never stopped. I went on to work for Governor Cuomo and Senator Gillibrand, and it was in those roles that I saw how difficult it is for people to keep track of what's going on in government and what nonprofits are doing to get people involved, and that's really where this whole idea started.
So do you think it's specifically, you're not specifically targeting young people, but there is a dramatic drop-off that we see when it comes to young people voting and young people getting involved? I mean, certainly, particularly with the Obama administration and Obama's first campaign, he really managed to energize young people,
yes.
But the Democrats have been struggling to try and figure out how to maintain that. And you are nonpartisan, right?
This is a completely nonpartisan platform. And I think that in terms of trying to keep track of what organizations, specifically nonprofits, are offering to engage people and what business associations are offering, as well as elected officials, that's not even an age issue. It's really across the age spectrum. You know, when I was working in government, I was responsible for keeping track of everything that was happening in the district. Mm-hmm. I was on hundreds of email lists. I had a list of online calendars that I would check weekly, and social media, I was constantly combing through it, and I just thought there has to be an easier way. Over the years, I continued talking with organizations who would say, we have all of these great informational events, but we can't get the word out.
And so then people don't show up.
Right, and then from the, individual perspective, I would talk to friends who are not involved in government at all, and they would say, Sam, I read this in the news, but how do I find out about these events? Like, how do I keep track of this? I would tell them what I'm doing, and they'd be like, that's completely overwhelming. Who has time for that?
Right.
And so what I realized is New York is the capital of choice, and so we have opportunities. If you want to find a Thai restaurant, there's a website that organizes all of the options for you. If
really?
You want to Yelp.com.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
If you want to find a Broadway show, there's a website that organizes that. That did not exist for civic engagement.
So you have a website. Now, are you soliciting? Are people paying to be members of your website? I mean, not to give away your whole business model, but how does it work?
No, not at all. So accessibility was of paramount importance. Well, first, let me just get into what OrangeU Going actually is. Mm-hmm. We feature civic, community, and political events all on one platform. And the way that you get your event onto the platform is you submit it through the website, and we actually review every post to make sure that it's a good fit. Mm-hmm. So, for example, we are not listing Broadway shows or cultural offerings because New York is the cultural capital.
But you're not editing either. So if there was, I'm going to make a plunge here and say you worked for Gillibrand, you worked for Cuomo, so you have a certain lean. I don't know how you registered, you don't have to tell me, but you worked for two Democrats. Mm-hmm. But if, say, there was a Steve Bannon event or, a Second Amendment event, you would list that.
We would, something like that I think we would list. If you get into the
white supremacy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you get into something related to hate speech, we would have to really look at that specifically. Thankfully, we haven't had to deal with that problem yet, but we'd have to come up with a way to deal with that when it was, I don't know that I would ever want a platform, that my name is attached to
Right.
be promoting that.
So as a citizen, I could be a subscriber, and you're emailing me, correct?
Well, the way
Daily?
it works is it's completely free to use OrangeU Going. So you simply go to the platform. There's a list of curated events, and there's really two things that set us apart. One, we only list events that are, as I said, related to civic, community, and political engagement. We also have, because the platform is specifically built for civic engagement, we have an advanced search filter. And so all of this is, again, free to use. And so you go to the platform, you view all of the events, and then you can use the search filter to search by issue area, so transportation, environment, education, etc., event type, rallies, press conferences, networking opportunities, town halls, as well as by ticket price, borough, and my personal favorite, coming from government, is legislative district.
So but it's not just New York City.
Right now, it's launched in New York City, but we are planning to expand to the Capital Region and beyond this year.
So do you have, now there's not an area where people can engage in conversation at this point.
Right, it's not a social platform, and I think, what it's really, the way the structure is set up is you're able to go, we answer the question, how can I take action today? And so you go to the website and you can find events that you're like, I want to go to this today, tomorrow, this week. And then that connection part, that social part, comes in person, because we're trying to encourage people to get out there and to meet their neighbors and to talk with like-minded New Yorkers.
How many users do you have right now?
Well, we are very new, and so in terms of data, we really don't have numbers yet. This is our launch phase. I will note that, so in order to get on the platform, so for example, if organizations want to post an event, you go to the website, simply click post an event, and you fill out the form. There's a nominal fee of $9, or actually it's even less if you get packages, between $7 to $15 to post an event. And right now during our launch period, it's completely free to post. You just go to OrangeUGoing.com and you request a code, and so you can post all of your events for 2018 through March for free.
Are you doing this full time?
No, I am not.
But I was going to say,
one thing I
that's generous of you.
Well, one thing I will say is that another point that really sets OrangeU Going apart is we don't have time limits on our posts. Most event listing platforms will say, okay, you pay to post for 1 week or 1 month. But for OrangeU Going, we want to make sure that you can get these events on the calendars of New Yorkers early. And so if you know what your event schedule is for all of 2018, you can post all of them for free, through March. Just get your code.
So, two things. First of all, you're going to have to explain the name, because I don't think everybody gets it.
OrangeU Going, while civic engagement can be very serious, I did not want the name to be. And so OrangeU Going is actually based on the knock-knock joke. Aren't you going to get engaged? Aren't you going to be there? And so I'm hoping that it's memorable for New Yorkers.
And what do you envision it to be in the long term?
We've got some lofty goals, and I would say I want OrangeU Going to be the civic engagement hub for New York. I want, when someone asks, how do I get involved? Right now, the answer is so convoluted. Contact your electeds, research nonprofits, and sign up for all their newsletters. Follow them on social media. Join this club. Join that association. I would like the answer to be much simpler and say, oh, you should check out OrangeUGoing.com.
So you, at this point, are not putting things on people are contacting you and saying, we would like to post our events on your site. You're not curating it yourself.
It's a mix right now because we're in the launch phase. And so, of course, we want to make sure that it's robust for New Yorkers. So it's a mix of organizations listing their own events. I will say, and I really want to stress, that organizations have complete ownership over their events when they post them. You don't contact me. You simply go to the website, create a free account, and post the event. There's also there's a profile section where you're able to manage your event, make any updates to it. So if you have a speaker that you need to add, you can do that. So, you have complete ownership of it. And so, yeah, some organizations are going to the platform, but right now we're trying to just get the word out so that people know that it's a tool.
Well, I thank you. They know now.
Yes.
So I thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for your
having
time.
us.
And I think that one of the ultimate goals, there may be many, is to get more people involved and get them to get out there and vote and be educated.
And to make it easier for people to do that is really the ultimate goal.
Well, I thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.